Subscribe and click the bell icon for all the television updates.
We'll start with you, I think, because you're pretty much the nirmata of this entire setup. When this came your way, straight first thought, everyone always thinks, what is the big thought that makes sure that the ball gets rolling? So what was that in your mind at that time?
So, Salil, as I talked about it already, I think the challenge to be able to take this subject and I think, and to take it across and to be able to do it in an entertaining fashion and to take that challenge upon ourselves as a network, which is consistent to our mission on wash, if you look at it, and sanitation, and therefore further promoting Swachh Bharat and doing our bit in that space, I think was the main driver. The way we all came together, I think, with Siddharth having done so much work for us and this time, so from all his big mytho shows, willing to do this piece, and I think, and as I already talked about the BBC and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations, and I think the idea to measure it, I think all of it sort of is a challenge which was worth taking up. We've always been associated with social causes. We've taken up different social causes, and we've tried to bring them in an entertaining fashion. Colors was born with it, as you know, and I think we've always stretched the envelope there, and I think what better way to continue to drive that envelope to talk about something like fecal sludge management, as I keep saying.
But I think people in my school used to be uncomfortable if I ever came and announced, I shat today. I used to be so happy and celebratory about it because I thought this is going to attract better health for me. And here it is, you're taking a bold step. So I'm going to move to Madhu Krishna ji and ask her, what does BMGF actually hope to achieve with such a project? क्योंकि बहुत कम होता है कि आप ऐसे सब्जेक्ट के बारे में बात करें जो आप अपने शायद फ्रेंड्स के साथ भी थोड़ा uncomfortable होते हैं कि क्या बात कर रहे हैं, so then to take it up like this on a show.
So as everyone knows, sanitation is key. Right? And for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, it's all about saving lives. Right. And nothing saves more lives than having access to safe and sustainable sanitation. Yes. So we were very happy to partner with the Government of India on its sanitation mission. But looking well beyond it, what accrues the public health benefits is if actually you manage the waste. If you don't manage it, putting people in toilets is not enough. And that's fecal sludge management. And how many of us know actually where the shit goes once it leaves our toilets? None of us know, probably.
It's something we avoid in our heads. It's gone.
Forget about it. And we don't have to worry about it. But unfortunately, we do because it comes back if we don't treat it, if it's not managed. And so this is a very entertaining platform, both to get citizen engagement, but also show you the real life story of how people actually have to deal with it. People who are less privileged than us, who actually have to manage it every single day. And it's both about showcasing their story, their challenges, but also raising citizen engagement through an entertaining manner. And so we are super pleased that Viacom, this is one of the first breakthrough serials where we're going with a commercial, large production house and a channel, and we were very happy with the conversations. And of course, with BBC helping us think through the entertainment part of it.
I think it's fantastic. Awareness is fantastic that has come across in 2018 in various things. Yeah. I think we've become more aware. I think we will discuss the social media playing a huge part in making sure that don't need to speak to everyone about it. You can still know about it if you're just online everywhere. And another big thing, entertaining. It's very important. If it's not entertaining, it'll fall flat on its face. I'm going to direct my next question to Ankur Gar. What is the thought behind the whole concept? If you're thinking, we've got an idea in hand, how do we crack it? That's very important.
Yeah. So I think converting an idea or converting a theme, which is potentially as dry as sort of or technical as sanitation is, into entertaining content requires sort of that line of thought. And the way we started about it was to really look at what do people currently think about sanitation? Why are they not doing what we want them to do, and where our audiences are? And then think from an audience point of view on how we would like them to take that journey on the sanitation route. And really look at where the awareness gaps are, where the attitudinal gaps are. And one of the things that I was just discussing recently was that, especially in urban settings, a lot of it is about what I can do right? So first of it's about what the government can do, and therefore even if their sanitation is a problem, somebody else needs to come and solve it for me rather than me taking the onus around that. So that's one. And then even if I as an individual act, the power of collectivization is completely missing. And then therefore looking at the story and the sort of stage of a mohalla and looking at various characters taking their own steps, but also the entire community coming together to solve an issue which matters to them so much.
I think it's fantastic. I'm sure lots of drafts were picked up, thrown out before a final idea was reached on this one.
No, and also it's so true, you know, since we're going out there and meeting so many of Mumbaikars, it's so true that unity se itni strength milti hai. But what's funny is a lot of the mythology shows do well because it's a world we kind of lose ourselves. So here's what I want to know from Siddharth, that from mythology to reality, and that to like this level reality, it's hardcore. So आपको नवरंगी रे का ये जो प्रोसेस था, ये जो एक्सपीरियंस था, मुश्किल था कि खूबसूरत था कि यादगार था, क्या था?
Before you start, sir, love the socks. They're fantastic. I mean, I thought I was colorful today, but this is
either
brilliant.
my shoes or my socks are always a hit.
Oh my God.
No, this is a super hit. You hit it out of the park.
It works. So I'll tell you, so we are storytellers, most importantly. We're not genre tellers. You know, we don't tell stories in a genre.
We know what's working,
so,
and we know what's repeating itself.
Yeah, no, see, for us at Swastik, it's not like we've been only making mythology over the years, but I love the branding. I think mythology is really cool. I think as a country, we need to tell stories in a much bigger way so that, you know, the whole country gets to know, and every show that we make in that space has a very deep message through it. Right. You know, whether our association with Viacom, we made Shani, which was a god where you take Shani's name and people get scared of him, you know, and we made a series on that. Hats off to Viacom to accepting that thought that let's make a show on the darkest god alive in a way. And it has changed, it did very well, but there was a very important message through it. And coming to the message point, that's exactly the reason why I think I'm sitting here. Because for me, the most important thing was when BBC Media got in touch with us and told us about this thought of sanitation. First, I needed some education as to what is it all about. You know, we are hardcore entertainment people. We don't really know much.
So
like
which
all
part,
of us sitting here.
Which part convinced you, if I have to ask?
See, I'll tell you, it was very interesting. I think everybody sitting here, it might, I think it's very important for all of us to know that flush ke baad kya hota hai. You know, all you know is that you had a loose motion, you went to the loo and you told somebody you shat. But what happened with your shit? That's the story of Navrangi Re, right? So over here, what was important is, first for us as a team, all of us, to understand what are we trying to say through it. That was the toughest part. You know, there were lots of meetings to understand what exactly happens, because just like what ma'am said, you know, we are very unaware of the realities of our lives around us. You know? So that was there, and of course, the most difficult part after that was to tell a story about shit. How do we tell it? How do we write it? How do we make it? How do we present it in a way that we're not making a documentary, we're making an entertaining series which has to have a message, but we do it in a very, in a way that people get, the message goes through. So I think somehow, again, the Mytho experience of telling a subtext in a story helped us here also, and that's how...
Superb challenge, Tiwari ji, aapne liya, I must say.
Thank you, ma'am, thank you.
It's wonderful to be here, and of course, there is, you know what happens is, ये जो स्टेज है और कैमरा जो है, कोई भी स्टेज पे जाता है, कैमरा ऑन होता है तो आदमी सब भूल जाता है, क्या है, कौन सी इंजरी है, कुछ समझ नहीं आता है. You feel as if, you know, you're born again. You know, you feel so blessed, you feel so fortunate that you have this opportunity to be in front of people and to make people smile and laugh and make them happy, and you get an opportunity to come on stage, perform, go in front of the camera. कितने हमारे से कितने बेहतर लोग हैं, कितने ज़्यादा talented हैं, कितने better looking हैं. But I think somewhere, I think it's a blessing of God. And of course, you know, being part of this thing, you know, this entire, जैसे कि Swachh Bharat, cleanliness, which is such an important thing for all of us. You know, it starts from your home, and then, of course, where you know, your mohalla and your country, and of course, the entire universe. We need to clean up everything. You know, we have to have a world, a global atmosphere which is so environmental friendly. And that's the biggest concern today. So I'm honored and privileged that you made me a part of this wonderful novel. Thank you. I must thank you, and I must thank Viacom 18. I have to thank all of you all the people, the entire team, and of course you for making me part of this. Thank you so much.
No. Thanks, Anil. I think the audience is also very keen to know as to what is it that, of course you talked about the reason for making it happen for Swachh Bharat, but at a personal level, is there anything which sort of, you want to share with the audience on your association with this entire mission and this concept of fecal sludge management?
Well, to be honest with you, obviously, I was born in Chembur, Tilak Nagar, and I was, too honest with you, I was slightly privileged. Privileged, you'll be surprised that, of course, there were 8, on one floor, there were 16 rooms, and one room was one apartment, one koli. So we all used to stay in the koli, and of course we had 2 toilets. But when I used to go for my summer holidays, I used to go to my mama's house, my mom's real brother. And I used to go to and live with my grandparents also. So when I used to go and I used to go to Delhi, and we used to go for our summer holidays. It was we used to go there for 30 days, for a month, sometimes for 45 days, and stay over there for our entire summer holidays. This was in Rajendra Nagar, Delhi. So I've spent my entire childhood going on summer holidays either to Rajouri Garden, either to Merit, or Rajendra Nagar in Delhi. So over there, the entire, as you said, the system, the sanitation, am I right?
Yeah.
Yes. Was completely different. And you'll be very, very surprised that there were no flushes, there was no water flowing. And to be honest with you, there are many occasions as kids, because there was only one toilet. So the elders would be, given the preference to go to and use the toilet, and we would go in the, there were these small lanes, and the toilets were outside. And I promise you, though not once, many a times I've gone and what do I say? So that was the entire thing, and even the toilets which were there in the in the homes were, obviously there was a kind of a cement thing which was made, and there was a hole in the cement, and we used to go there and pass out shit, and there was outside the the mohalla in the home where it was there was a patra, and we used to open the patra, and there was a lady or a gent who would come with a kind of a bucket and clear the shit and go away. So that was in Delhi. And I'm sure today in India, there are small towns and villages where this entire thing is still prevailing, which is still there. There is not a situation where, scientifically things are done. Which we have done in this show is how to use the septic tank. Am I right?
Yes.
Absolutely. This is what we are trying to propagate through our a show which we have done, which I'm a very small part of. And I hope, like I remember Raj Kapoor Sahib, I have to tell you this. I used to go, and whenever I met Raj Uncle, I used to call him Raj Uncle, Raj Kapoor, whenever we made any films or anything, now we're doing shows, and I said, कुछ भी entertainment करो, साथ में एक social message, और social message के साथ, अगर कोई message उसके साथ entertainment हो, तो it reaches out more. So that's the intention of Navrangi Re. Entertainment, and there is a certain message of how to shit. So these are my anecdotes which I wanted to share with you, and so I said this is a right time that I can share it, and if I can, through this show and through being a part of this kind of a small thing, if I can spread the awareness of cleanliness and how to really see in a small mohalla, town, city, that how do we take care of the shit would be my little contribution to the society and to our country and to Swachh Bharat.
Thank you so much, Anil. Thank you. And I think a big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, for Anil. And as you were talking, it reminded me of my own experiences. So I was born in Kota, which is a small town. There was a slight difference. And then I, of course, studied in some boarding schools where we would go out for runs outside. And there would be, you know, villages and so on and so forth. So this, in our place in Kota, the difference was that basically in those days, toilets, at least at my, this was my Nanihal and my Nana's place. तो वहाँ पे क्या था कि जो टॉयलेट था उसमें they had dug deep. There was a hole there, and therefore there was a life of a toilet. So वो टॉयलेट बोलते थे 10 साल चलेगा या कई बार बोलते थे 15 साल चलेगा क्योंकि you would go and relieve yourself there, and then you know of course you would take and there was a pump. सारे घरों में उस समय में पंप होता था, पंप से आप पानी वानी अंदर ले जा रहे थे और उससे उसको आप फ्लश कर देते थे पानी से डाल के और कोई basically taps were not there many times in some places. So उसके वो करके and then it used to keep going through and then it would be blocked one day. When it is blocked, then it would be like covered up and that's the way it would go on. लेकिन जब बाहर जाते थे, जब मैं दौड़ने के लिए कहीं पे देखते थे लोगों को, तो गाँव में एक एडवांटेज थी कि अगर आप बाहर चले गए तो फीकल स्लज मैनेजमेंट की जरूरत नहीं है अगर आप ओपन में कर रहे हैं तो, क्योंकि it will automatically convert into some kind of you know the nature takes care of itself. But the thing is कि अभी आप जब अब जो नया दौर चल रहा है, एक तो अर्बनाइजेशन हर जगह पे शहरों में ही लोग आ रहे हैं और गांव में भी आज के ज़माने में गांव भी क्राउडेड हो गए हैं और गांव में भी जहां घर हैं वहां पे टॉयलेट की ज़रूरत है, which is what is being said. तो वहां पे ये सब चीज़ों का करना ज़रूरी है अनिल. तो बेसिकली अगर मैं आपसे लास्ट एक चीज़ और पूछ लूँ कि जब शिट होता है तो फिर ये जाता कहाँ है, इसका करना क्या है, इस पे आपका क्या राय होगा?
करना क्या है, मेरे ख्याल से ये शो देखेंगे तो पता चलेगा. नवरंगी रे, मैं ही सब कुछ बता दूंगा तो बेटर. ये शो का पूरा मकसद ही है कि अगर आप लोग देखेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि ये शिट जो हम लोग करते हैं उसका करना क्या है. एंड आई थिंक इट इज़ बीन डन ब्यूटिफुली इन दिस शो. इट्स एंटरटेनिंग एंड बट स्टिल एक ये मोहल्ले में क्या करना है और कैसे करना है वो आपको इस शो में पता चलेगा. So I think the ideal thing is that I think we should encourage everybody to speak about this show to everybody so they can watch it and make a difference to the society.
Thank you. Thanks, Anil.